Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Welcome to Sprints, but first and foremost, Goodreads Choice Awards. I saw yesterday that the nominees kind of went live, and I was like, it's time. It's time. It's that time of year, which is so exciting. And then I figured because Wednesday, Chloe and I are usually doing sprints, I was like, now is the perfect time. Chloe is unavailable. She's busy today, which is rude. But I figured at the very least, I won't have to do a whole dedicated YouTube video now to the Goodreads Choice Awards, so we can just kind of hang out and kind of talk through it a little bit instead, which is easier for me to do. So, yeah, welcome to Goodreads season. I hope you're ready to be bombarded with all of the content. I don't know this year if I'm going to do Goodreads specific videos just because I know Jan Agaton will probably do something for the horror category. Kayla will do something like maybe last year where she does all the categories. I know that Covers with Cassidy will either do romantasy or fantasy. I'm not interested in reading all of the romantasies. As much as I've tried not to spoil myself, there's been a couple of things that I have seen. So I know that there's a lot of Harry Potter, traditionally public fanfic, that I'm not interested in reading. And so I feel like a dedicated romantasy pick this year probably won't work for me because I'm going to be like, oh, 3 of these I don't have an interest in. So I don't know. I'm still kind of puzzling that together, if you will. I'm trying to figure out what I may or may not do. But for now, at least we can look at the nominees, get my votes in, see what I read, see what I haven't, see what I'm interested in, and kind of go from there. I thought, for starters, before jumping in to like the whole nominee system, I figured that I would show off my predictions and what I thought back in June or July, what I thought we were going to have in the finale awards nominee circumstance. So Goodreads every year comes out with the best so far of the year, and usually I do a reading vlog. I didn't read 4 of the books because life and time and whatever, and so I've kind of just like scratched that video from being posted, but I did make graphics with the actual picks, which they did way less this year than they normally do, and then things that I knew were coming out that I knew would be popular and was like what I was expecting to be in the pool. So I figured we'd go over those first and then jump into the actual nominees just to see how on the pulse I am. So here's my horror graphic. This is the top is the 4 that were like in the best of the year so far, and then the bottom is what I was expecting. So obviously Stephen King. S.A. Cosby would make sense. I know Hazelthorne because I just finished that. I know that is one of the nominees, which I'm very excited about. I expect We Love You Bunny to be there, even though it's not getting the most praise, but I don't actually know what the average rating is. I haven't checked any of these things since like July. I feel like When Devils Sing probably won't be there. Hot Wax, I don't actually know if that'll be there anymore, just because I don't think people have really been loving it. So that was kind of my horror picks. And then we have my romance picks. I don't read a lot of romance, as we know. I read the favorites for this video, and I've already read Deep End and Great Big Beautiful Life. I've not read an Abby Jimenez. I'm not super interested in it. I haven't read a Lila Sage, but I'm not surprised that it's here. Of course, there's going to be at least one Outly Hazelwood. I'm not sure if Mate will be considered a romantasy or romance in this case. I don't remember what Bride was, if it even made it. First Time Caller, I read. So I expect that to definitely be on this list because people are loving it. Jessa Hastings, I feel like she's probably going to be here, but at the same time, girl's flopping. Like, she is losing the plot. Elsie Silver, of course, is also going to be here. Anything by the popular authors. I don't know if Caught Up is as popular as Lights Out, so I don't know if that's going to make it. We'll have to wait and see. I also have Young Adult, which I read Rebel Witch, but that's a sequel. All of these are sequels, which is really annoying. I kind of wish that we would stick to just the first in a series or standalones, but I digress. These are kind of my ideas, my picks. I haven't read any of these, which is interesting. I've definitely taken further and further steps away from reading young adult, although I do plan in hopefully 2026 to have an entire video dedicated to all of Kelly Andrews' books. I'm so excited for that. I also, before the year ends, plan to read Our Infinite Fates and The Rose Bargain. Okay, then we have thrillers, which I read Beautiful Ugly, which was for the video, but also was Gabby over Gabby Reed's book club pick. So I expect that to be there, of course. But then we have The New Ruth Ware. Famous Last Words, I personally hated, so I hope it's not there. I haven't read Ghostwriter, but that was really popular. I don't think With a Vengeance will make it onto the list. I don't think it's quite popular enough. The Compound, I don't know if it's considered thriller enough to be in this category. I wonder if it would be in the like contemporary fiction category. That I find interesting. A few sequels, Samantha Downing, classic authors, really. These are just popular authors. As we know, romantasy, the category that I should excel in all things, being realistic, but as we know, I'm not interested in the Harry Potter stuff. I've been ranting about it for months now. Hopefully next year this won't be a topic anymore. I really need to read The Night and the Moth. That was my pick for my vlog that I didn't get to. So that's like high on the list of to be read before this year ends. But yeah, this is my list. I don't think Curse Carved in Bone will make it, honestly. I'm definitely excited to see like The Things Gods Break just recently came out, so I don't know if it's got enough readers for a high enough rating. Silver Elite's definitely going to be here. Direbound is I'm kind of 50-50 on if it'll make it. Then we have historical, which is definitely my blind side. Like I do not know. I don't keep my finger on the pulse when it comes to historical. I don't know what's going on with it. I have very few selections, but I have even worse when it comes to like just the fiction. That's too broad. But I think Junie will definitely be on here. The Sirens it was fine, but Amelia Hart was I think pretty high up, if not the winner, with their last book last year. So I'm probably gonna be there. I read Isola for the video, and it was fine. I'm just not a big historical person. And then we've got fantasy, a lot of sequels. I was gonna read The Devils. I still plan to. I'm just procrastinating it. I would like to get to it. I just don't know when. The River Has Roots obviously is, well loved by everybody, but is also a novella, so I think it's fun. Just changes things up a little bit. I don't know if Catabasis will be here. There's been such like a polarizing feel towards that, so that I'm interested to see how that will go. Travis Baldry's newest book isn't out yet. I think it comes out this month. I think towards the end of the month, though. So I don't think it's going to be on here because I don't think it made it to the cutoff. Sorry to all the books that have just come out. And then we have contemporary fiction. Again, I don't know. 2 of these are technically horror books, but they're also like lit. So I don't know what makes the rules. But yeah, I was going to read My Friends and Wild Dark Shore. So those are the 2 that are on my radar. Everything else when it comes to this, I only know the weird girl lit fic stuff. And then finally we have sci-fi, my nominees, which is also pretty small. I don't know a lot of sci-fi either. I don't pay attention, sorry. I read Death of the Author. I may or may not read The Dream Hotel depending on like how reviews look for it. But yeah, the Poppy Fields is the only one that I'm like for sure gonna be there. So that is my little predictions going into this. I've avoided spoilers the best I can. Hello, my best friends. How are you guys doing? Hope you're well. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So now we get a look at the actual awards, which is, the nominees. I'm nervous and excited. I've seen the discourse. People aren't pleased with the nominees, but I feel like that's kind of always what happens. Well, what just happened to my hello StreamYard? That was so scary. I lost you guys for a second. Sorry about that. My tech problems just skyrocketed. What was I saying? Oh, yes. The discourse on Goodreads always being like, who makes the rules? These nominees are bad. These books are bad. Blah, 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 blah. It really is just like a numbers game. Whoever gets a lot of ratings, a lot of people reading it, but also higher than a 3.5, which, it's always going to be the same people. So it's not surprising when that's going to be the case. But I'm still excited nonetheless because it's always a fun time of year for me to just see the people reading these books and talking about it in the content. It's fun. I'll be shocked if I've read any since I've been reading a lot of backlist books. That's true. You haven't really been reading the newer releases. But I have no idea how to get these books on lists. Yeah. It's a lot of like people putting them on shelves, people saying that they want to read them getting just like a lot of buzz and hype. Have to have above a 3.5 average rating, but also I don't think they have to have like a certain amount of reviews. And I mean, I know that they have to be like in the thousands, but sometimes you'll see some that are like 7,000 compared to some that are like 100,000. You're like, this doesn't really make any sense, but I'm not the behind the scenes people, so I don't fully know. But that's just kind of what I get from it. Let me adjust and find the right thing. Let me look at the tab. Okay. We're starting in fiction. Oh, goodness. I already know I'm not going to be good in this category, so I don't have to be stressed about it. Yeah, everything that I was kind of expecting. Nothing standoutish. The Three Lives of Kate K by Kate Fagan? So sorry. I'm not familiar with that one. But most of these look pretty familiar and nothing is too surprising. I have not read them because I didn't finish my video. So there's 2 books that I should read before the nominees end, and then that way I can, decide and vote on them. I know Ocean Vuong's probably going to be pretty high up, but the rest of these are not very familiar to me. Do you think it's fair if authors have multiple on the list? No, I hate it so much. I also think that it's like dumb that we'll get Stephen King's mystery thriller and then we'll also get a Stephen King horror for sure. And then we'll have, I don't think Sarah Janet came out with anything this year. So I don't think we'll have Sarah J. Maas on this list, which is kind of crazy. But we're going to have all the big names. And then if they wrote multiple things like Frida McFarlane, she's going to be on here like 4 times. Guaranteed. At least 2. So I don't know. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? Okay, historical fiction. I read maybe 2 of these. I know Atmosphere is probably gonna win. Everybody loves Taylor Jenkins Reid, so that's probably gonna be the winner. I've heard great things about Junie. I don't know if I want to read it though. It kind of scares me. I don't know. Historical is always just like a little bit hard hitting. Makes me sad. So I don't usually pick them up, but I've heard fantastic things about Junie. I've heard not great things about the Amalfi Curse. So interesting to see that on here, but it's got a decent rating. The book club for troublesome women. I feel like my year has been split into 2 so much that like the beginning of the year is so separate from the end of this year, and it's like 2 different years in one. And so I feel like half of these things didn't technically come out this year, but they did. So my brain is like so all over the place. I've heard good things about Broken Country. This got recommended to me by a friend. So wow, it's got so many ratings. So yeah, I've heard great things. Might pick that up at some point if I'm ever like on a historical kick. The Secret Book Society. I have not heard of this one. Only 6,000 ratings. See what I mean? The ratings are just all over the place. You've got 342,000 ratings and 6,000. So I don't feel like it's always fair in how things are going to get voted for. Like obviously, if 6,000 people vote for the Secret Book Society, it's not gonna matter. But yeah, interesting. None of these are necessarily interests of mine. I could technically vote for Isola, but I think I might wait and see if I pick up any of these. I don't read Taylor Jenkins Reid. My goodness, I hate her name. I don't read her books, so I'm not gonna even entertain the notion. But yeah, none of these super stand out to me. I'm so sorry. A thriller. Hopefully I do better here. Oh, not off to a great start. I knew King of Ashes was going to be here. I was supposed to read this in the summer, and then I didn't. I slacked so hard this summer. So my bad. But yeah, I knew it was going to be here. I have the audiobook literally on hand, on deck. Should read it soon. And then we have, of course, Freedom McFadden. Not even surprised. The Perfect Divorce. Interesting. Sequel. Okay. I guess it makes sense. Sequels, common. Lots of readership. Most likely sequels are going to make the list because the same fandom is going to follow the series and they're going to rate it highly because usually people not interested, like for Vera Wong, I didn't love the first book so much that I felt the need to continue in the series and pick this up. But obviously the people that love the first book are going to pick up the second book and they're probably going to rate it high. So that makes sense. The Ghostwriter I'm interested in. This was a book of the month pick, so I'm not surprised that it would be here. It's also an Audible exclusive, though, which is interesting. So I feel like having those 2 categories of like book of the month, giving it a lot of recognition, but also Audible kind of hiding it from a lot of people that use their maybe library audiobook Libby system. And then, wow, I did so bad. Famous Last Words I read, I hated. This was such a bad book. I really hoped it wouldn't be here. Beautiful Ugly, I think, out of what I've read, wow, so many Freedom McFaddens. That's so annoying. I don't make the rules. It's fine. I think, wow, I read one of these. That's not good for me. That's embarrassing. Chloe! Hi! Have fun today. I'm gonna miss you. You won't have fun until like later this evening, but like have fun with Travis Baldree. But yeah, that's embarrassing that I have not read very many. Two books in total. I'm not surprised by any of these names. This is Holly Jackson's adult debut, so I'm excited to see her here. Okay, hey, I need at least somebody to check me because I know that I've never read a Freedom McFadden. So like, who am I to say? I just get annoyed seeing her so much because she writes so many books, and I'm so good for her. She's getting that bag. She's writing those books. I don't know how she has a personal life. It's crazy. But I also can't keep up. Finished up the blah, 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 blah. You're finishing it. Yay! Finally. That's going to be so exciting. I hope it's going well. You've been taking your time with it, so I hope it's like a good read and you've been enjoying Ruth Ware. Okay, well, realistically, I think the only book on this list that I would maybe pick up would be the Holly Jackson, Ghostwriter, and King of Ashes. So I don't know if maybe I don't feel like I should vote for Beautiful Ugly, but I will be honest. I really enjoyed Beautiful Ugly. It was a slow start. At first, I was like, I don't think this is good, and it just barely. It's got a 3.6. It's not gonna win. So sorry, Alice Beanie, you're not gonna make it. But I thought the ending was so good that it like knocked my socks off. I was like, wait, this was crazy. This was good, but I don't know if it's worth my vote. So I'm not voting a whole lot today. This is kind of embarrassing. Too many Fridas for one list. Save some room for the other books, man. Honestly, it would be really nice to have like other authors. There are people that are writing thrillers. Like they're out there. Please. John Mars. Where do I start with John Mars? Somebody help me. I would love to know. I do want to read Ghostwriter and Beautiful Ugly. I do recommend Beautiful Ugly. I also really want to get to Ghostwriter. My friend Eliza has the Book of the Month edition, and so I'm like, okay, maybe I can talk her into a buddy read, but then I have to get the Audible exclusive audiobook, and I'm like, do I really want to waste a credit on that? Because I for sure don't want to spend money on it. So we'll have to wait and see. I was looking last night, and I only have like 3 books on these lists. I'm scaring myself. I have not read as many as I thought. I really hope one of these categories I'm really going to pop up. Okay, romance. I've read The Favorites. I gave it 5 stars. First Time Caller, I gave 4 stars. Problematic Summer, I fully plan to read this summer in the time that I was supposed to. But then I totally did not get to it because I really wanted to read Not in Love first, and the holds were not corresponding to the right times, which was very annoying for me. So I've kind of just put them both off for now, which is interesting. Oh, we have 2 Bryn Weavers. Interesting. I don't think Scythe and Sparrow is going to get like super duper far just because I feel like other people are a shoe-in. I feel like Lane Fargo for sure. Come on. The Favorites was so good. But I did not know that she had another book come out this year. Tourist Season. Okay, interesting. I'll have to check them with my friends and see if it's a good pick to try out. The Tenant was fun. It was more like a comedy thriller. Didn't read The Crash yet or The Intruder. Well, you are now my designated. I can't talk. It's so early in the morning. Chloe and I usually go later in the afternoon. You're my now designated Freedom McFadden person, so you get to tell me what's worth actually trying, if I ever do. I've also read Deep End, like I mentioned earlier. I think I gave it 4 stars, but it feels more like 3.5. Like the more I talk about it, I go, there's a lot of flaws. But I also like, kick your feet, silly little haha time. So I can't be too mad about it. I also liked the kink in it. So what can I say? Deep End. Ooh. Okay. I'm locking that one away. Let me know when you pick it up. I'm not gonna do this. Yeah. It's early. It's early for us, but it's fine. We're getting through it today. That was my plan. So I can end these a little bit earlier so that I can have the afternoon to get other stuff done. Honestly, the problem is I really want to play Sims. I have so much to do. I have to edit a very long video, but I have so much to do. Also down to read some Ali Hazelwood. Good to know, good to know. Ali and I we're considering how we're doing our book club thing on our channel for next year and how if we're gonna just like focus on sprints or recommend books to each other or like how the system is working. So always excited to hear more about potential buddy reads. I did rate. Yes, I read it so fast. Chloe, Eliza, and I kind of all read it at the same time because we were all freaking out that it came out. So yeah, I did read that one, and I would probably read it again. I've been playing Story of Seasons. I'm obsessed. I should know what that is. I don't know what that is. I should look that up once this is done. Story of Seasons video game series. I'm sure it's cozy because that's what you would play. Okay. 4 a.m. obsessed. Oh my god. Okay. That's kind of me with The Sims, but I'm trying to be a responsible adult. But I did designate tomorrow evening is my Sims day, no matter what. But I'll check that one out. I'm so hit or miss when it comes to cozy games, so I don't know. Okay, anyways, back to This Great Big Beautiful Life. I am glad this made it because a lot of people hated this book. I don't think it was that bad. I actually kind of liked it, but a lot of people did not like it. Like we mentioned, Wild Dog Shore, Elsie Silver, of course, Anna Wong makes sense. Lauren Asher makes sense. I don't read a lot of romance, contemporary romance. It's not my favorite. So I'm not surprised by any of these picks. All of these authors are known to me, except for Carly Fortune. I'm not super familiar with. But I should be, because those are series. So everybody's, sounds familiar. I do think this is the first one that I'm going to cast my vote, and it's going to be The Favorites. Will I say that The Favorites is, first and foremost, a romance novel? No. But I think that's okay. I think Lane Fargo can just completely destroy everybody in this category, and I'm not even going to be upset about it because I love The Favorites. I love Lane Fargo. Oh, so good. The audiobook experience is perfection. It's so good. Oh, Sim Free Play. Yeah, I've invested too much money into The Sims, and now EA is selling and everything is going to shit. So it's been a really fun time. And I'm not stressed about it, and I don't think about it ever. Okay, Romantasy. Okay. I'm either going to do so good or so bad. We're off to an interesting start. So my first 5-star of this bunch, Shield of Sparrows. I fucking love this. I actually just purchased my pre-order. My first pre-order of 2026 is the sequel to this book. I am so excited. I have to make sure that I get the first edition print run to match my first edition print of the first book. I'm so freaking excited. Also, in 2026, we're getting a duet audiobook for this. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Never heard of The Favorites. Chloe, do you live under a rock? It's an ice skating drama with some romance and mostly a lot of drama. But the audiobook is impeccable. It is like the best production ever. There's such a full cast. It feels so real. It feels like you're listening to a documentary podcast, truly. It was so fun. I enjoyed it deeply. So I would really recommend The Favorites to anybody who has not read it. And if you're going to read it, listen to the audiobook. It's really, really good. Okay. Onyx Storm, I'm in the middle of. I've been in the middle of this since January. It came out. We were going to buddy read it, and then they finished the book, and I'm 100 pages deep. I keep saying I'm going to read it. I'm going to pick it up, and then I don't. It's a problem, but I wouldn't get my vote anyway. I think it's good. I like Fourth Wing. It's one of my favorite series. It really kicked off all this romantasy stuff in a fun way. But at the same time, I don't think it's worth my pick, I'm going to try and skip over all the Harry Potter stuff. I'm sorry if you care. I'm excited to see Our Vicious Oaths because I think this author needs a win. They're kind of going through it right now, and I feel bad for them. So if you see them on Instagram or something, just be super nice right now. But I'm excited to get to this. I haven't heard much talk about it. It's got 1,315 ratings. That feels weird to me. Just recently came out. Kind of crazy that it has so few ratings and made it to this list. Okay. I don't understand how anything works. I've read Accomplice to the Villain. Not good, not great. I think it's getting better. I think Hannah is developing her writing style and her voice as an author as she continues in the series, but at the same time, it's still not good. It's just it's there. It's okay. Yeah. I know. I'm hoping that next year it just stops. We all just forget that fanfic can be traditionally published. We'll go back to just Ali Hazelwood being our fanfic queen, and then we can forget about all the rest. I'm ready for that to happen. Bonds of Hercule. This is the second book. makes sense. Mate, okay, so it is romantasy. I shouldn't have known. I figured as much, but I wasn't, you never know with Goodreads. Sometimes they categorize things weird. Wild Reverence makes sense. This is one I'm interested in. I never finished the duology. I keep saying I'll pick up Ruthless Vows, but I just don't really have a giant interest, honestly. But Wild Reverence, the prequel of it all, the gods story of it all, that excites me. That sounds good. People are like, it's slow burn, like it's fate crossing, and like they're never together, but they're together, and I'm here for that. I would really love for Goodreads to explain how they make the list with them being owned by Amazon. I'm skeptical that it's just the ratings. I think it's a mix of like how many times it's shelved, what the average rating is. I always assume that it's based off like how, like, there should be a threshold of like, because these are such popular large books, it should be minimum like 20,000 reviews or something. Like there should be a bigger pool, but clearly that's not the case. So like I don't really know anymore. It wouldn't be surprising if publishers had something to do with it, but I just don't feel like Goodreads has that big of a stake in the publishing industry. That might be a silly take, but I genuinely don't feel as if publishers would really put money into Goodreads for a silly award. That doesn't actually mean anything compared to like other large important awards systems. Like I just don't know. But maybe it's like the Oscars or the Emmys where it's like, yeah, you just have money. Of Wings of Blood. I've heard good and bad things about this. So I'm interested in picking it up, but it has not made it to my priority list. I've heard, I think, 2 people that I trust give it raving 5 stars, and 1 person that was like, this is the worst thing ever, do not read it. And I was like, ooh, I don't know what to do about that. The Night and the Moth, that's the one that I really gotta read. That's like, I'm embarrassed that I haven't read it yet. I don't even know where my copy is anymore. That's real bad. Oh, okay. It's on my shelf. We're good. We're good. This will happen before the year ends. Preferably, it'll happen before nominees are done. They end on the 23rd, so I have time. So hopefully I can get enough of these reads that I can make, proper voting decisions. Not surprised that Direbound's here. I'm reading this very soon. 3rd book in the series, but also like start of a new series, so it makes sense that it would have high readership. Immortal by Sue Lin Tan is interesting because I've not heard a single person that I follow talk about this book. I'm not surprised that they've made it to this list, seeing as Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I think, also made it when it came out. So for this author, it makes sense. But at the same time, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Emily Wilde makes sense. 3rd and final book in the series. People love it. Oh, Amber Nicole. Okay, this same exact thing happened last year. I went, I've never heard of this book. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, it's that book. Every time. Still haven't read the Book of Azrael. I'm pretty sure that's the series. Gets me every time. I'm happy that the series is still going. I've heard people talk about the first book, and I've never seen anybody continue in the series. So good to see that it's here. Enchantra, happy to see. I gave this one 4.5. Didn't like it quite as much as Phantasma. I wish that I remember what I voted for last year, but that feels so long ago now. So I can't do that. Silver Elite will not get my vote, but I'm not surprised that it's here. And then another kind of sequel, Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I believe this is set in the same world as the Irregular Witches, right? I think that's true. So I'm not surprised. Not for me. I don't like the cozies. If I was to vote right now, I think it would be Shield of Sparrows. But I have hopes that The Night and the Moth will actually become my pick once I read it. I really want to love it. I really want to give it 5 stars. I loved One Dark Window. Such a good duology. Let's see what we got for fantasy. Okay, interesting. I would not have expected Watermoon to actually make it. 3.77, I guess it's not that bad. People didn't like this. I included. I thought it was very fine. The development of characters weren't great. So I'm surprised that it made it. But I also have to remember that my scope of watching a lot of BookTube and being on Bookstagram is not the same as like the actual readership of people. Like so many people on Goodreads have no clue that BookTube even exists, nor do they care. So I have to remember that my experience with BookTube is not everyone's experience. Terrible romantasy reader. I've only read Silver Elite and Night and Moth. That's also bad. That's not too terrible. I think those, well, I don't know if Silver Elite would be on my top list of those that you should read. I would say like Shield of Sparrows probably should be up there. Unless you hate a character that asks a lot of questions, then I would not say that's for you. But I love that book so much. I don't like cozy. I know. I know. I like my stakes. I like being on the edge of my seat. I read a lot of thrillers and horror, so I want my fantasy to have twists and excitement. Sorry. If there's not a war, I'm probably not gonna read it. Incandescence, I guess that makes sense. 7,000 ratings, yeah, that checks out. It was fine. It was good. I liked it. I would recommend it, but I don't think it was that good. The Everlasting, I think, although it got published later into the year, I think it might go very far. People are eating this up. I believe, which I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the Six Deaths of the Saint in a novel. But like obviously things have been changed. Everybody's raving about it. Reads with Rachel has been promoting this book up the wazoo since they got an arc. So I'm excited for it. I have the audiobook on hold right now. So I'm going to listen to it, I hope, this week so I can make an informed decision. And then we have Alchemy of Secrets, which I recently got a copy of, which I did not necessarily want. Kind of surprised that it has a high rating, 3.96, which is higher than I thought. People, from what I've heard, haven't really enjoyed this. So I guess it's good to hear that other people are liking it. Maybe I will after all. Maybe I won't hate it so much. Catabasis, still haven't read. I will. 3.85 with 69,000 ratings. I guess that makes sense. It's RF Kwong. It'd be near impossible if they did not make it onto this list. I'm glad this wasn't put in Romantasy, though. Oh my god, that would have made me so mad. Why is the Sirens here? That... Sorry. Did I... That's crazy. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. Now my order got messed up. The Sirens is definitely more historical than anything, so I'm surprised it got put in the fantasy list. That's weird. Okay, moving on from that. Travis Baldree did make it. That's so surprising. I don't know how anything works anymore. I'm kidding. I understand why people are so annoyed and mad about this. This came out yesterday. How does a book that came out yesterday make the cutoff for this? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, also, Thief of Night, what are you doing here? Here's the thing. I'm really excited for Thief of Night. I cannot wait. I'm glad that it has a 4.9 with almost 4,000 ratings. That's good news for me. I really enjoyed Book of Night. That's my controversial take. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I was really interested in the shadow magic and the way that the world worked. Holly Black kind of got 8 for her adult debut. People did not like it. So I'm surprised to see the sequel be here. Because obviously the people that are going to read it are going to enjoy it. But like, I feel like maybe other fantasies could have taken its place. But like, hey, happy for Holly Black. There are a lot of books here that just released in the last month. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. What the heck, Goodreads? Go home, you're drunk. Honestly, what is going on? Cozy D&D. Okay, so I love a cozy D&D. I love a D&D that takes us on side quests and has a lot of character development, but I don't want it in my book. For whatever reason, it does not hit quite the same for me. And therefore, I'm not interested. So I don't know what that is about me, but yeah, I like my books to have a D&D feel without being cozy. I don't know if I'm making sense. I know. It doesn't make any sense, really. I thought Legends and Latte was fine. I gave it like 4 stars initially. I think over time, it kind of became like a 3.5. But see, here, spoiler, maybe, sorry, there's a fire at the end. Things got exciting. You're on the edge of your seat. You need to know what's going to happen. Like, there's still higher stakes in that. I didn't think that Bookshops and Bone Dust was as exciting or as good, but I think Legends Lattes was fine. I think it's also just pioneered a movement that I'm like not that interested in, so I feel meh towards it all. A Resilience of Witches. I've never heard of. A historical fantasy debut set against the backdrop of World War II. That's probably why. It's sometimes crazy that people are still writing World War II books. Like, they make sense. It's, relevant. It's important to history. But I kind of just feel like it's done. Like, what more stories can we say? Just think Girlie's reading smut. I don't know what you want me to say. Wind of Truth makes sense. Haven't started. King of Sorrow. Joe Hill shouldn't be in fantasy. So that's weird. But there's nothing simple about dealing with dragons, and their pact to save Arthur becomes a terrifying bargain in which the six must choose a new sacrifice for King Sorrows every year or become his next meal. Okay, I guess I'll let that slide, because there's dragons. That's crazy. Look forward to it, babes. Can't wait. Strength of the Few makes sense, of course. Kind of, yeah, okay. My thing got out of order. We're good. Red City just recently came out. I'm not surprised it's here, but at the same time, just came out. And I know there's a lot of hype towards it. Yeah, you got me. You got me. Yeah, October 7th, King Sorrow, Strength of a Few, November. Yeah, that's... I feel like there were so many good fantasy books this year. So it's really annoying that this is how we're treating it. But okay. What do I know? Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just a girl. It's hard because, like, Strength of the Few was going to be here. Because, of course, like, why wouldn't it be? But if it just came out... Kingfisher. Oh, yeah, T. Kingfisher. I actually have a pretty special edition that I might give to my friend. But I want to read it first to see if I like it. But T. Kingfisher and I might be breaking up. I'm not surprised that she's on this list. She will be forever with how many books she writes. I'm not surprised. She'll always be here. But I don't know if her and I are compatible. Gareth Brown. The Society of Unknowable Objects. I haven't really heard people talk about this. His debut came out last year. I think it was also a nominee. I enjoyed it. It made me cry, even though it wasn't like a favorite book or anything. But I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this one, which is interesting. And then we've got The Raven Scholar, which is definitely like 10 before the end. I really need to read this. I want to read it so bad, but it's so chunky. So I'm so like intimidated by it, and I shouldn't be. But I need to read that one. A Job of Corruption, I don't think I'm going to get to before the year ends. My partner and I are reading The Tainted Cup. And we still have like 8 hours. So I don't think this will happen for me this year, but of course, makes sense that it's here. Barrier Stones in the Midnight Oil. It's V.E. Schwab. She's always going to make it to the list if she hasn't a release at this point. But I'm not interested in this one whatsoever. So, woof, for me. And my uninterest in fantasy? What is going on? Literally have never heard of T. Kingfisher until me? Okay, Chloe. I think I need to give you a presentation of, like, popular things you need to know if you're going to be on BookTube. So you can yell at me about cozy stuff next week, and I'll give you a presentation. You give me a presentation on cozy books. I'll give you a presentation on, like, what you need to know. That's so funny. Okay. If I was to vote for something. Oh, God, I don't think I'd vote for anything. Huh. What will I realistically get read before the year ends? Catabasis, The Everlasting, The Raven Scholar. So those will determine like what I would vote for this, because nothing else really tickles my fancy. Fancy suits my fancy. I'm doing great with the phrases today. Words are really easy today. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed by the fantasy picks, to be honest. I don't know. Realistically, like half of these are sequels, and so I wouldn't get to them in time anyway. So I guess it's good that I don't have plans to do like a dedicated fantasy award category. Science fiction, I don't think I've read any of these. Let's be honest. I think I really sucked at reading things this year. That's so sad for me. Local Heavens, I think this was an aardvark pick, or maybe it was Libro ALC. So interesting to see that 510 ratings. And it just came out. Oh my god, Goodreads, what are we doing here? Red City is one of my favorite books of recent years. That makes me glad. I actually have a copy. I just unboxed it recently. And I know people love this author's Legend series. I never picked it up. It wasn't something that was on my radar. So when this book came out and everyone was talking about it, I was like, okay, I don't get the hype. And then I read the synopsis and I was like, it seems fine. Like nothing about it wowed me. So I'm glad to hear so many people are loving it, because that does excite me for actually like picking it up. But I also thought it was going to be more romantasy than it is fantasy, and I guess that's just also not the case. So it's interesting. I have this on my TBR. I feel like this came out last year. Like that might have just been like the UK edition came out earlier, but my brain is so all over the place. The rest of these, besides the poppy fields. Oh, the compound is considered sci-fi. That is so interesting. Okay, Goodreads, load slower, shall you? Fiction, thriller, dystopia, audiobook, mystery, mystery thriller, book club, science fiction, contemporary, adult. And somehow this it's put on the sci-fi. Goodreads, what are we doing? Nothing makes sense to me anymore. Red City has the vibes of The Magicians meets The Godfather. Yeah, I think that's what the inside flap says. But The Godfather, sorry, my movie pop culture is bad, does not mean much to me. Automatic Noodle intrigues me. It's a bit cozy, but it's about robots opening a restaurant. It's also a novella. So a quick read to get to those end of year goals, if anyone is interested. I saw Cara read it, and she read it twice. She loved it so much this year. So I've heard good things. My dogs are making lots of noises outside. The rest of these, though, Death of the Author, I've read. I didn't love it as much as everybody else. It's like objectively a fantastic and good book. I just didn't connect to it as much. So, came out last December. Thank you. You guys are so smart. I appreciate you all. You are guiding me through this. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I think I got the Illumicrate edition last year in 2024. But I also understand like the cutoff for the awards. Everything has to be out behind a certain date, unless you're special and it's yesterday. It's fine. I'm not bitter. But I'm happy that it's getting its flowers. I do think that it came out and nobody was really talking about it, and I feel like it's probably going to be good. I'm interested in it. It's on my shelf. One second. My dog is crying at me. What? How was your walk? Is this what you wanted? I think he really just wants the piece of bacon that's sitting in front of me right now. I don't think he's interested in me at all. But yeah, now you're locked in here. What? What are you gonna do? He's gonna cry in 3 minutes to be asked to go out. The rest of these, monsters and mainframes. Interesting. I'm not a super gigantic sci-fi reader, just because sometimes I don't want to have to use brain power to read my books, and science was never the subject for me in school. Like I could ace all of my classes. Hey, please stop crying. I could ace all of my subjects, but like science, it's the reason I dropped out of college. I could not do science. It was not for me. So I'm planning to read The Compound in the next like 2 days, because my audiobook hold is going to be due very soon. Do I think that it should win a sci-fi category though? No. And that really makes me upset. Death of the Author, I hope will go far, just because I've read it. It's like, why not? Automatic Noodle, I don't know if I'd pick it up, just because I'm concerned about the cozy part of it, but it could go either way. I read some robot things and I have enjoyed them before, so who knows? I have an ALC for the Poppy Fields, which came out forever ago, it feels. So I might try that one. This is on my shelf. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I should do like a mini sci-fi blog. That would be something. Okay, horror. If I don't do well here, I have to delete my channel. Like I just, if this is not what I can do well, I'm done. Okay, Grady Hendrix. I read this. It was fine. The Possession of Alba Diaz is on my end of year TBR. If you saw my TBR video, I have a spinner wheel of like 60 books. This is one of them. Another one of them, Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. I will read these. Darcy Coates, I had tried one of their books. I DNF'd it. I didn't pick anything else up. So, hey, first row, leave me alone. Have faith in me. But I don't know if I want to try Darcy Coates again, or if I just want to like swear off this author. I feel like DNFing one book I don't think that's a fair shot. So I need to probably like ask Lexi or somebody and be like, hey, what's good? What's not? Where should I start? I don't know. She fascinates me as an author. She also has so many things. Bat Eater, I've read. Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCauley. I've never heard of, never seen. 3,000 ratings. Okay, that's one bad for me. When the Wolf Comes Home, I'm in the middle of, which I'm counting as I've read it because I've started, and therefore that counts. I started it last week in sprints. Thank you. Trying to doubt me. The Haunting of Payne's Hollow. This was a book of the month pick, and I honestly didn't feel very interested in it. I thought it was kind of like a synopsis. So I'm going to wait to see more reviews and ratings. Maybe during Goodreads, people are going to pick it up for their videos, and then I can kind of make a what is the word? I can decide whether or not it'll be for me. Oh my goodness. Don't usually read horror, but really like Play Nice, 4 stars. I think Rachel Harrison is the perfect author for people who aren't sure how they feel about horror or are new to the genre, because it's the girly pop horror. It's the pink horror. It's more emotional than it is scary, but still has like nice elements of spook. I really enjoyed Such Sharp Teeth. I gave that 4 stars, and Black Sheep I gave 5 stars. So I definitely think that Rachel Harrison is just like a good generic author for people to enjoy, but like in a positive way. Okay, next one, Buffalo Hunter Hunter. This I'm also in the middle of. So therefore it counts what as read. Yes. I'm in the middle of this. I think I got 100 pages in. I don't love it yet. It kind of makes me nervous, but you know, that's fine. And then we have Coffin Moon. Also, have never heard of this. 2,759 ratings. Interesting. I like this cover a lot. I think that's really cool. Lucky Day. I own this. It's on my physical TBR. I got it from Aardvark, the special edition. It's somewhere so far from me that it's not worth trying to find, but okay. On my shelf. We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. I don't know if I'm going to read it. I'm waiting for the hype to die down and people to stop talking about it before I pick it up, just because so many people have not had positive things to say that it makes me nervous. And I'm like, is it worth me even like having the idea of like ruining Bunny for myself, you know? Oh goodness. Bewitching. I have in ALC4. So I should read it. Immaculate Conceptions. I'm not sure if this author is for me, but also like I don't know if this specific storyline is one that I would be interested in whatsoever. So this might just be a skip for this book, but I might pick up the authors next. But this one I just don't think like thematically is for me. Blood on Her Tongue, also on my end of year TBR, like has to be read. Have to get to it. So excited. I really loved their debut last year, so have to. Hunger Stone. I have this on my shelf. Also got this from Aardvark. Aardvark is really carrying the horror nominees this year. That's great. I am interested in this one. I still want to pick it up. I've heard good enough things that I'm like, yes, vampires give me, but I feel like I need to be in the right headspace because I don't want to project onto it what it isn't, because I do that sometimes with horror. Hi, bunny. The Lamb I read and did not like. I gave it 2 stars. It was not for me. You Aren't Meant to Be Human, one of my favorite 5-star horrors. So I'm glad to see it's here. 4,000 ratings. What's wrong with people? More people should be reading this. It's so good. What Hunger is also on my holds right now. So I'll be reading this in the very near future. And Stephen King, I don't read. And I'm not going to start the Holly series just for this occasion. It's not an interest. I have not read a Stephen King before. I will eventually. Today, going to be that day. This year ain't going to be that year. So, if you're asking what I would vote for right now, I would vote for You Weren't Meant to Be Human, hands down. But because I plan to read and finish a lot of these, I'll take it. I'll take it. So maybe throw away the sci-fi video. It should probably just be horror, because that's where my home is. That's my heart and soul. Okay, what do you mean? Come on, Goodreads. Fix yourself. Too many people are probably trying to vote right now. Okay, let's get back to business. Debut. No, why? Do audiobooks work? Is it just the debut category? I can't see. Oh, Goodreads. I know. Here's the thing. Hot take. I kind of am a Goodreads apologist. I've been using it since I was like 12 or something. And so it not changing its look honestly adds to the charm for me, because I'm like, nostalgia. But I also understand that like it is just a sign of like people not running a website very well. But they're slowly, very slowly making changes that I do appreciate. So I can't be too terribly upset. Okay, audiobooks kind of piss me off as a category. What about these? Why? No. Fuck you, Goodreads. I hate Goodreads so much. I take everything I say back. They suck. Oh my god, none of these are worth being here. I don't understand this category. Like, I love audiobooks, don't get me wrong. But why? Why does this need to be the category? There's nothing special about these. Like, why is The Favorites not here? The Favorites is undeniably a fantastic audiobook production. Why are any of these special? Most of these are just a single narration. Like, why? Is it because they're popular? Because you don't think they're going to win the category they got nominated in, so you want them to have a second chance? Like, what is the point? Who decides this? Audiobooks don't get rated on Goodreads like they would Libro FM or like even Storygraph. Storygraph has like a very clear difference in the the editions that you have, whereas like Goodreads, the editions don't matter. Nobody pays attention to that. Goodreads isn't tracking how many hours you're listening to an audiobook. I'm mad. This is so dumb. No, this makes me mad. We're just okay. Young adult. Let's talk about it. Drink some water, cool down a little bit. If page doesn't load, I'm gonna cry. I just need every Goodreads user to get off this website for like 5 minutes so I can finish this. Oh, it's so slow. We had a really good start, at least, you know? A good run with no problems. My, oh my. Well, we might be here for a hot minute, so how you guys doing? I am planning to do sprints after this, so we'll read some books. But I don't have, like, honestly, ever since Libby switched their system. Oh, my coworker is texting me problems. Ever since Libby switched their system to, like, the suspend situation, I have had significantly less holds. I have 10 currently, which, like, is still kind of a lot, but, like, could be worse. I'm usually around, like, 16 to 20. But today, I will be reading The Island Witch, and I will read The Compound. And then I have, other things to get to eventually. But that's kind of my reading plans for today. I have YouTube stuff to do for sprints and cleaning to do. Oh, it's loaded. Yay. Okay. Young adult. Heavenly Tyrant. This came out in 24. Sure. Missed the cutoff, whatever. I'm glad people are liking this. I didn't have to. Oh my god. I love the first book so much. I hated the sequel. It was bad. Did not work for me. Hellkate, the witch, goddesses of the underworld. I've never heard of this. Greek mythology, fans of Circe and lore. Interesting. Okay. A Language of Dragons. I plan to read this. One of my first video ideas for the beginning of this year was to do a dragon reading vlog, and then I just didn't do it. So this was on the list. This was something I was going to pick up, and I haven't heard a lot of people really talk about it. So I'm glad it's got a 3.84 average rating. A Forgery of Fate. When I unboxed this, it was probably the most requested book to be read by me that I've seen. A lot of people are really interested in this one. A lot of people are interested on how people feel. I did not know it was inspired by Beauty and the Beast. How interesting. So I would like to get to this one if I can. I don't have like a video that I can slot it into. So I need to figure out a way that I can get it read so I can talk about it with people because people are very interested. This is the fourth book in the Woven Kingdom series, which I read the first one. And when the fifth book comes out next year, hopefully, I will then read the series. It was one of those series that like had such a good cliffhanger ending where you're like, this was fantastic. But the rest of the book was like, okay. And then it was a trilogy, became a 5-book series. And now I'm like nervous about the pacing of it all. But people are liking the romance, so I won't complain. Fearless makes sense. I recently talked to, I think, Eliza about the controversies of this author and potential plagiarism problems. So I don't know if I'm going to really get far in the series or if I'm going to talk about it on my channel too much. If I do. Our Infinite Fates. I really want to get to this before the end of the year. I'm very excited for it. Wings of Starlight. Chloe. Oh, this is Allison Saft. How did I miss that? This is a Tinkerbell fantasy retelling. But I believe it's sapphic, if I remember correctly. And I believe so. Blah, blah, blah. And Chloe read this one. I somehow totally missed that this was an Allison Saft book, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why. That doesn't feel like something she would write. But hey, what do I know? Interesting. I didn't mean to click on that. No, Goodreads, don't. Please don't. Oh, breaking things. Okay. Okay. No. Oh, please. We were just there. We can do it again. Yes, not sapphic. It is good, though. That makes more sense. I was like, initially I thought it was sapphic, but then seeing that Allison Saft wrote it, I'm like, she shouldn't write a sapphic book. That doesn't feel like her space. Hazelthorn. Oh, I guess that makes sense because it is technically YA. I don't know why I thought this was going to be in the horror category, but this would currently get my vote. I really liked Hazelthorn. It was a 4.5 book. Yeah, 4.5. Made me rewatch all the Tinkerbell movies. Honestly, a vibe. Those movies kind of hit. They kind of slap. Watch Me. Shatter Me, The New Republic. How did I miss that happen? What? We're continuing in the Shatter Me world. Girl really needs her bag. I guess this Woven Kingdom ain't doing that good. That's so interesting. Okay, Immortal Consequences. I have right behind me on my TBR card. I will be reading this before the year ends as well, hopefully. The House Sapphire. Oh, Marissa Meyer. Wow, I am apparently not keeping up with things as much as I thought I was. Queen of Fairy Tale Retellings, author of Cinder and Heartless. Interesting. All right, Chloe, read the new Marissa Meyer. Let me know how it is, and I will pick it up. The Floating Worlds by Axio makes sense to be here. I also have a special edition of this. Checks out. Never Ever After by Sulan Tan. Okay, getting nominees in 2 categories. Good for you. Go off. I also have a special edition of this. We talked about that. Rebel Witch. Boo! What a bad sequel. Oh my god. Sequels this year truly sucked so much that I'm surprised that any sequel ever would make it on Goodreads nominees because so many of them were so bad. And I was so disappointed by them. This being one of them. It was kind of a flop. And I love the first book. It was 5 stars. I was so excited for this. Spent way too much money on a Rebel Witch special edition from Owlcrate, and I didn't like it. Oathbound makes sense. The Rose Bargain on my end of year TBR. Please, somebody make me read this. I need to cancel my Everend account, and this is holding me back. Ooh, Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee. Is this? Yes, this is. It's also by Fonda Lee. We're just not mentioning her because there's not enough space. But I haven't heard anybody actually talk about this or read it, which is interesting. What's up? You done with me now? Yeah, he's done with me. Okay. Come on. Just walk past her. Okay. And I'm back. But yes, I have not surprisingly heard people talk about Breath of the Dragon because, like, it's Fonda Lee's book. People love Fonda Lee, author of Jade City. I'm surprised more people haven't talked about this. Also, Shannon Lee, like, son or daughter? No, obviously daughter. Shannon Lee would be a daughter. I'm not thinking straight. Daughter or niece or something of Bruce Lee. So, like, very interesting that not as many people are talking about this online as I would expect. Good morning. How are you? The Rose Bargain is good. So sorry. Yeah, I'm sure you're so sorry. Go read it so we can read the second one. Ooh, okay. That I will do. That I can be prepared for. And then we talked about these. Sunrise of the Reaping, of course, makes sense. Why wouldn't it be? Honestly, it's probably going to win, if not Oathbound. And then the Otherwhere post. I'm kind of surprised to see this one here. Not many people have really been talking about it. I read it. I thought it was fine. I think Hotel Magnifique was much better. But I think the concept is very cool. So happy that she's getting her flowers. I really like this author. I'm going to keep reading their stuff. Young adult fiction. What could that mean? Oh, When the Devil Sings did make it. Cool. I am not Jessica Chen. This feels like a new category to me. I could be mistaken. But I don't. No, it's not. Because Jennifer Lynn Barnes is usually. No. Oh my goodness. My brain is not awake. I have had no caffeine. Is there usually just one young adult category? Not two? Because I feel like they usually... No, they're separate. I don't remember anymore. It doesn't matter. There's two, and that's all that matters. I don't read a lot of contemporary fiction, so not very many of these are even on my radar. There she is, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I knew she'd be here. She's the only reason why I can vaguely remember categories for young adult. The survivor wants to die at the end makes sense. Nobody in particular I'm kind of interested in. Would like to hear people's thoughts. I don't pick up a lot of young adult, contemporary, young adult romance, but sometimes they really hit, like Datings and Dragons. I could vote for this because I really like this and I read it this year. The Scammer by Tiffany D. Jackson. I've heard pretty good things. I think I got an ALC for it, so I'll probably listen to it at some point. I don't know if it's necessarily something I'm going to get to quickly this year, just because the synopsis sounded okay. But I've really enjoyed some Tiffany D. Jackson, so who knows? Let's be honest, I'm not going to read any of these except for maybe When Devils Sing, but I feel pretty confident that I can vote for my little D&D romance because she's just a good time. She is a sequel, but you don't have to read the first book to read it at all. So it was a good time. All right, nonfiction. I don't think this category exists to me. Oh, just kidding. I've read one of these. Two of these. Oh. Two. I'll take that. Which would I vote for in this case? Everything is Tuberculosis, or One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This. So vastly different stories. Obviously, one's about the history of tuberculosis and how it's had a personal effect on John Green and the people that he knows. And then you have One Day Everyone Will Have Been Against This, which is also very like memoir style. Like it is his experience, but also Oregon native, which is cool. Lives in Oregon at least, and talked about experiences in Oregon. I was like, ooh, yikes! I know it's bad here. So I feel like everyone's going to vote for John Green. Even the people that don't read this category and just vote willy-nilly, people are going to recognize the name John Green. So I'm going to vote for one day, everyone will always been against this because I think it was very well done. If you like nonfiction with memoirs in it tied together, but it's also like talking about a bigger topic, I think it's a good bunch, good pick. But it's interesting that I didn't make it quite to the memoir category because it is still technically up that. I guarantee you Allison Stoner is going to make it so very far, or The House of My Mother, because those are pop culturally very relevant and a lot of people are going to talk about. The rest of these, no interest. And then history and biography, I think it's the last category. Interesting. I remember they got rid of middle grade last year. I don't know if I really have opinions on like what they should take away or what they should add. I think they just need to tighten up their rules and what makes it in and like why, and be a little bit more clear on that. Maybe give more power to the people. I don't know. But yeah, history and biography, not for me. I don't super care. So those were the nominees. That's my thoughts and feelings so far. Nothing crazy. I don't feel crazy about anything. I definitely have some books to read before the year ends so that I can properly make decisions, which is nice. I feel like there might be a couple content ideas a brewing in me. I might also just do horror category or young adult and just like ignore all the sequels. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It could be fun. I also had a very fun idea that Chloe and I may or may not be doing for December. So we have to behind the scenes chat about that. But I feel like that might take up more of my time than the nominees. But I don't know. Goodreads is annoying. We all know it. We all hate it, but we all still use it and love it. Until like Storygraph, Fable, Pagebound. Hey, if anyone's looking for something new, Pagebound is my personal like new favorite. Storygraph, I don't think the interface is good. I don't like how it looks. I don't like the way that it functions. I like that it gives you stats. I think that's great. But Pagebound, aesthetically, so good. It's so cute. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite like newer apps, and they just recently got the phone app. My issue with Fable, you can't do anything on a computer. I would like on desktop to be able to tell you what I've read because on my phone it's too annoying to backlog stuff. I digress. Anyway, until apps like that have more things, like I know Fable has an end of year wrap up, partly done with AI, so like hit or miss. But, it is cool. It's nice to get stats. It's nice to have information. And Goodreads kind of lacks in that department, but nobody else has like cool awards because they're not as big of platforms yet. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to ever be a proper like fix to the solutions to the problems. No solutions to the problems. We got to sprint, guys. I'm losing my marbles. I'll be going back to add some fantasy on my TBR, some I haven't heard of. It's always nice to get to this point of the year and like pick up things that you didn't know come out. I apparently had more of those than I was expecting. I'm usually pretty on top of new releases, but I guess this year less so. But let's sprint, everybody. I've been talking for an hour straight, and I would like to drink more water, and I would love even more so to eat some food. So let's do a 45-minute sprint. I'll come back and chat with you guys when we're done. Hello, welcome back everybody from that sprint. How did you do? How did it go? I made maybe the best ever Alfredo dipping sauce I've made before. So I'm pretty proud. And then I'm just like snacking on some breadsticks from a date night. So kind of thriving actually. And I'm drinking water, which is also very good. You should also be drinking water. So yeah, that was kind of my entire sprint. That and talking to my coworker about work drama stuff. We're really thriving in this economy right now. So I spent a lot of time chit chatting with her because she's at the office today and I'm not. So that was kind of my big sprint. 45 minutes went by very fast. But on the plus side, now we can chat and hang out. I think my plan for today is one more 45-minute sprint. And then I will do during that sprint cleaning. This office is a mess. You're lucky, like behind me, the backdrop, fine, clean, nice. I have piles and stacks of books over here that I gotta take care of. I've got trash from an unboxing I gotta take care of over there. I have books that I need to film close-ups of for said unboxing video for tomorrow. So I have a lot to do today. Will I accomplish all of that in the next 45 minutes? Probably not. If we're being honest and realistic about our time, I like to think that I can get a lot done in that period of time, but realistically, I'm not good at that. So I think my main goal will just be clean up this desk over here because it would be nice to have usage of, and then at least get started on the trash piles and boxes and break those down so I can throw them to the recycling because tomorrow is our trash day. Giving you all the information. So I feel like that's kind of my game plan. And then either, I don't know, I have this weird thing where I cannot read and eat at the same time. So whilst I was eating, I finished the recent episode of Campaign 4 from Critical Role, and I started some drama YouTube video that I don't know if I care about, but here we are. It was in my feed and I just needed something to watch. So I might finish that, might switch over to music, might switch over to my audiobook. I'm 54%. I might have made that number up entirely. I am 54. That's crazy. So I'm 54% into Island Witch by Amanda Giatista, and I don't think I'm really liking it that much. Unfortunately, I'm not like super vibing with it. It's kind of just been a fine experience so far. I like the narrator, and I like the way that the story is being told. It's first person and you're very up close and personal with the story. But I don't trust anybody and I don't necessarily like anybody and I don't know what the like overarching point of the story is. So far, from what I know when I read You're Invited, it's often slow build up to something more dramatic. And the waiting to get to that point isn't super fascinating. I like the potential themes in the story, but I don't feel like we're really hitting any of them that deep. So I don't know. I'm a little bit confused by it, but I want to finish that today so that I can jump into The Compound because I would either like to finish that today or tomorrow at the office because again, like I mentioned earlier, due soon. So that's kind of my reading plans. I also need to get started on a reading vlog for Sunday. I'm still intimidated by the book. I put it off for a month and a half. I just have to read it. I just have to get over it, put my little bootstraps on, and just read this book. It'll probably be fine. I think I'm just hyping it up too much in my brain that by the time I pick it up, it's going to be fine. But, like, I'm nervous about it for now. So that's kind of my plans for the day, kind of where I'm at. But I think we shall jump in to our next and final sprint for today and see how much we can get done. Hello, everybody. How did your sprint go? That was our final sprint today. Just a little short one since we spent so long talking about Goodreads stuff. I did put a poll up on my community tab asking, like, after seeing the nominee Goodreads stuff, if there's like a category you think I should go for or not. So yeah, if you have opinions, care at all, that'd be helpful. But if not, no worries. I'll figure it out as well on my end, see what sounds interesting to me. But during that sprint, I was, to surprise, not very productive. I kind of just ended up sitting here finishing a YouTube video, working on like digital stuff. Uh, Mostly my online bullet journal stuff. Although I think for next year, and I'm gonna try and talk Chloe into this. I know she's gone, but I'm thinking maybe like the first sprint of each month, Chloe and I can do like some journaling stuff or like go over new releases and kind of do that, because clearly she needs some help being in the know of what's like hot, seeing as she didn't know who T. Kingfisher was until a week ago. So I think I might chat with her about that and be like, hey, let's maybe talk about like book subscription stuff and new releases and do some journaling things like that. I think that might be fun for like first sprints of each month. And that way we can just kind of chit chat and hang out and not have the pressure of like being productive. Not me, can be me. Not here. Here on a Wednesday, we like to just sit and talk and do very little. So with that said, I actually have to go do stuff, which is upsetting because there's a nice little cat in my lap who's so cozy. We got a new blanket that we're going to share, and I don't want to be disruptive, but I have to do stuff. I have to get things done because you guys are getting a video tomorrow, so I have to go do things. But it's okay. Yeah. I think that's going to be it for me for today. Wow, words. I think that's it for me today. I will see you guys next Wednesday, I believe, with Chloe, unless she gets super busy again. But I think that's our plan. It'll just be Chloe and I will do normal reading sprints next week. I'll have an unboxing video up tomorrow, so look forward to that. I got some fun, exciting special editions. One of my favorite books that we touched on lightly today, I got as a special edition. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. But I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. No,